Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Oh, I know. We're trying to act like nothing happened, but something happened.
Yeah, good job with that.
Well, the thing is that I think that from all these years of doing the show. Are we on, by the way?
We are on. Yeah.
Okay. Of all the years that we've done the show, that I roll with the punches.
I did know that. Yes.
And so,
I know that a punch will roll you.
Well, I think if there's any lesson to learn from anybody who's listened to the show, I am a coward. I'm not a coward so much as don't hurt me.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
I think of you more as an easy mark.
True. You mean like don't encourage? I'm already in enough trouble with people coming, wanting to hurt me from my act. So don't encourage. I don't know what I don't know what bit I was doing there.
Yeah.
How are you, Josh? Now, okay, look, we had a little technical thing, but you just got back from Minneapolis.
I did.
And you were telling me at the pre-meeting that people up there are not being careful.
Well, the Jews were being careful for the most part. I mean, at the synagogue, the Friday night and Saturday, total mask compliance.
Good.
At the party Saturday night, where there was other members of the public intermingled with our party. I mean, we had a party section of this place.
Right.
But there were other people there. And even the people within the party section weren't wearing masks at this point because there was eating and stuff going on.
Yeah.
So that was a wilder card. But I pretty much stayed in my hotel room the rest of the time because I do not want to get COVID before this operation after 8 months of waiting. So
yeah, I would have been nervous.
And I wore my KN95 mask all goddamn anytime there was humans around.
Do they have any? Other people? Do they know about it up there? I'm getting the feeling they don't. That Minneapolis has all of a sudden turned into a backwater town. No, that's not what it is.
It's really like place by place. Sometimes you'll go into a place and virtually everyone's masked. Sometimes you'll go virtually no one's masked. So that's why, and that was true last month, I guess, when I was there. But I was pretty much 2 very masked synagogue visits, very masked airport visit. And then
so everybody at the airport was good.
Everyone, yeah. As good as people at the airport can be.
Well, but you see that guy, these 2 pilots or whatever, they were interviewed at some thing and they were saying we think the air is completely safe on the plane. We shouldn't worry about it at all. You don't need a mask. And then a doctor comes and goes, if someone sneezes in your face on a plane, it's not good.
Right.
So it's sometimes I think we've gone insane in a way because the pilots want you to. Is that what it is? They're going to come and testify, but they want you to fly because their living is based on it. So they're going to tell you, don't worry about it. It's just, I think people are.
Well, those were not pilots, by the way. Those were CEOs.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Good. Okay. I apologize to pilots. I apologize. I was thinking that somebody was being misleading who wasn't an executive.
Thankfully, the CEO of the airline I flew on disagreed with them.
Is that you flew on? Is it United?
No, Delta.
Delta. So the Delta, and I've always felt except for the don't ever leave the airport joke, other than that, that's been my airline.
That's my airline mostly because it's the only nonstop between here and Minneapolis. But
yes, it used to be Northwest, I think.
It did indeed.
Here comes Granddaddy. It's not exactly blowhardy, but it's like Granddaddy.
Yeah.
Granddaddy life. He used to have a dial, and he used to go around.
Here comes another uninteresting reminiscence.
That's right. Do you know that Murray Hill? Have you ever heard someone say something Murray Hill this or Murray Hill that?
Remember when you could put a tiger in your tank?
Yeah, baby. That's me if I was a DJ. If I was Mr. Reminiscence, the DJ.
Yeah.
All right. 75 degrees. How's everybody enjoying this Slinky?
Brought to you by Esso.
Brought to you by Color Forms. What are those, Andy? Come on, you don't remember them Color Forms? Come on. I saw on the History Channel, and we're going to get back to the Bar Mitzvah, but I saw on the History Channel, they were doing the history. I said, I'm going to watch the History Channel for a while. The history of toys.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, oh boy.
Well, this was the toys that made America, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. And boy, oh boy, do they got nothing. I don't need to see a recreation of the Parker Brothers, Josh. I
I'm
watch
with
enough
you.
recreations
I am
on the.
with you.
What's that?
I am totally with you on the the Blank That Built America series.
Is that a History Channel thing?
Yeah. There's the men who built America. There's the cars that built America. There's the food that built America. Now they're down to toys.
Now they're down to toys, and they're like, and G.I. Joe originally was larger, but then in 1973, they went smaller. At the same time, Hasbro started out as the Hassenfeld brothers. Who cares?
Right.
Give me some interesting facts. Tell me that the guy who invented Twister broke his face the first time he tried to put left face on green.
No, instead you see the argument about what color the dots should be.
Yeah, but I did feel like if the other way to look at it is, yes, America, go America. We do it all. We do board games. We build the world. And
Right.
Quakers had something to do with monopolies.
Cut to satisfied nodding.
And I don't know. I was hoping is that the way the History Channel is completely? You
Well,
don't watch it all the time.
I don't watch it all the time, but I gotta say, in their defense, at least it's the history of something.
That's exactly right. It's not Larry the Cable Guy showing you the history of car horns.
Right. Or
not a bad show.
fake ancient aliens.
That's the other thing. I know I've said this a lot to you, but if you look at the Travel Channel schedule, it's like ghosts in Cancun.
Right.
It's ghosts in Cancun this week.
Well,
That can't be a thing.
Well, what's the thing is that if you're a basic cable channel and get any kind of hit, you chase it and burn it into the ground. Because,
That's exactly right.
You know,
And that's
like when
why
Storage Wars started, or when any when any show gets hot, they just like don't stop because it's the only heat they're gonna get. You know.
it's so depressing to me. It's so depressing in the way because I believe that these new channels is my joke part of it. That the new channels are just like, do you like shows? Have you ever seen something on Discovery that you liked? Well, then you're going to have to pay $10 a month to see the best of Discovery. Isn't that kind of what it is? Do you really like Disney? Well, then you should spend $10 a month.
Yeah. But how is that different than any other facet of capitalism?
It's not. I just want you to say, don't think that when you have your Roku player and they go, hey, I'll get a little bit from here, a little bit from thing, I'll sling my pro football games. I'm just saying there's no way to avoid Spectrum. I just found this out. Like I called the government today. You can't avoid Spectrum.
Well, I don't see you as a cord cutter, Andy. I really don't, because that, you know what that involves? That involves workarounds.
Okay, you have to put your assumption of me aside.
Okay, I
That's
don't
the
know
old
why.
me.
I don't know why.
I'll tell you why. Because I installed my Roku player last week. Boom, didn't stop.
Yes, this is the third time you've talked about it.
Well, it's very impressive.
Okay, you plugged it in and went bleep bleep bleep. Okay,
No.
set
I
up.
had to listen to a thing. Said, "Go, turn there." He goes, "Do you have wireless?" No, or this? Yes. Oh, wait a second, and it'll be ready. That's not that easy. What's this one? We make it easy. What is that?
It's like Toyota, I think.
Yeah, we make it Hisami too. I've been working on Hisami too. I want to know what you think of it.
Yeah.
Hisami too.
No.
Hisami too.
Not so good.
It's just slightly insulting towards people who I think are from the Orient. Hisami too. Chicken make bad house pets. I'm not ruining the show like you think I am.
No.
I'm trying to get a little life going. And we have life going.
I thought there was some life, but I'll try to step it up.
Hisami too. No, we're overcoming a technical glitch, and there was a thing like when we first started to overcome the technical glitch, I said, I know I can't do this by trying to reconstruct the exact conversation.
Yeah, no, that was not ever going to be the plan.
But I do want to hear, but here's the thing. I wanted to ask you, and we can say that we talked about this in the pre-meeting, but your brother and his wife, they brought up, have we talked about whether they decided they were going to go, they knew they were going to go Jew, right?
Yes.
And that's the thing. I don't know.
Though my brother's wife is not Jewish.
Hello? Wait, hold on. I'm not getting this. Wait a second. So, okay. So did she agree to go Jew?
Yes.
But because you could have gone Christian then. I don't get it. I always thought it'd be easier to be Christian, but that's only because I thought of being Jewish as being rounded up. It's a very highly unpleasant religion, Christianity, in many ways. Like those nuns, they're not. I don't get people going, "Oh, these nuns are so great because they're spiritual and they help me learn."
Right.
I don't get those reports.
You don't get a lot of glowing nun reports.
No, she hit me on the fingers, and then she had me do 5 Hail Marys.
Right.
I'm so proud of myself. I resisted the urge to try and save whatever garbage. I'm not saying it was garbage, but it wasn't my best. It wasn't my worst work, though. It wasn't my worst work. Now, Josh,
Yes.
I know that you are going to be. Are you? I know that you're nervous. You're not nervous. You're not Andy Kindler OCD nervous about catching COVID, but you have to get tested like all week, right?
Well, I have a PCR test on Thursday.
Is the PCR test the definitive test?
Yeah.
But then you can't do like makeout sessions on Christmas or something.
That's correct.
Yeah, because you told me that you used to play Twister every. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to ask you: that dogs have Omicron. Is this the thing? You can't touch your dog. Oh no, your dog can't get Omicron unless it's exposed to another dog with Omicron.
Right.
Is that true?
Yeah, I don't think my dogs, with having never left our house, are going to suddenly materialize Omicron.
No, but they go in the backyard. They could get like a raccoon. They could chew that up.
They could.
Dude, okay, this is going to be the stupidest question that I ever.
We do have that
asked.
wet market in the backyard.
I told you, first of all, you can't sell seafood out of a regular house. And now you're saying it's like every week you have like an uncured salami sale?
Right.
Oh, I got some uncured salami for Christmas, but I can't eat it. Paranoid about it. That was a little bit off topic.
Could you say it again?
I said that I had I uncured salami, and I was very nervous about uncured salami because you don't know. Well, what does it mean that it's uncured? It's like saying spoiled salami. It's spoiled salami.
No, I don't think that's true.
Would you eat uncured salami? And I know you wouldn't. So
Of course I would. That's mostly what's available right now is uncured salami.
get out of here. You're going to Trader Joe's or something. What? You know that the pork, they found out that
I wouldn't
pork
hang uncured salami like in the open air in my kitchen from a string.
Oh, well, that was my mistake then. That wasn't uncured. That wasn't salami. Wow. Y97. It's Y97 all day long.
You like your salami like you like your venereal disease. Cured.
I like this chunk. Don't kid yourself. This is a very nice chunk of comedy. You know, folks, I don't know about this uncured. You know, I like it like I like my venereal diseases cured. Penicillin. Let me do my impression of me pre-World War I. I'm dying. I have a. When did penicillin come in?
Let's go after World War I.
Josh, I slept with the town square. Now I'm worried I caught something. How could I have lived in those days being as attractive as I am? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You would have been dead within 50 years.
I bet I never saw the Gangs of New York, but I bet there were a lot of tough characters like me back then in the 1880s or whatever.
Yes. Schmendrick the Moyle.
Hi, Schmendrick. Oops, sorry. That's my catchphrase. That's Schmendrick the Moyle. Uh-oh, didn't mean to do that.
But I also have to say about the bar mitzvah, just how weird it was to be a 50-year-old man at a family gathering that, you know, that I hadn't been to this big a family like this many people flown in and all that since I think my mom's funeral. So it's I still feel like a teenager when I go to a family gathering, and yet I know that there's a bunch of actual teenagers, a full generation younger than me, going, "You're no teenager." Yes,
but do you feel like the young people, no matter what you do, look at you like you're not hip? Not that you want to be looked at as hip.
No, I mean, I think because of the showbiz factor, I retain a certain hip uncle quality.
Yeah, there's a cachet.
Like their friends have seen Freaks and Geeks, so they always have that thing.
Oh, that's good.
But no, it's just more just like, like a lot of my parents' friends were there and aunts and uncles who, but we've all moved up a generation.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's, it's a good thing and all that, but in the sense that, the family line isn't dead, but it's just weird. It's not gradual for me. I left town when I was 20.
Right.
And I haven't been going back for stuff, and I kind of I had almost stopped associating family gatherings with any sort of happy occasion, even just because of the string of funerals, So,
oh yeah.
So yeah, it was just weird. It was hard to wrap my head around in many ways.
Yeah.
But, obviously not so.
You were able to, but still.
Yes. I wasn't wandering the streets in a daze or anything, but it was still.
Well, you see, the thing is, I mean, to me, the not the problem, but if I went to any family gathering now, there would be so much catching up that there would be no. I can't explain what I'm trying to say. I still think of my family, even my uncles and aunts. I still think of we used to have Thanksgiving all the time in our house, but it always felt strange, even when it was your family.
Yeah.
It always felt strange to me, but maybe that's because I moved to Los Angeles when I was 21. So
right.
I did a similar thing that you did. Wait a second. Why am I confused? When you were 20, you didn't leave you did leave Minneapolis.
Yes.
I keep forgetting I just don't want to accept that you're that much younger than me.
I understand. I've had a lifetime of that.
Well, I mean, you came out and you already worked. I mean, that must have been could have been stressful for somebody with more of a nervous temperament.
Yeah, I didn't have a nervous temperament at the time.
Right.
I had boundless confidence.
Well, I know, but okay. But did you know, you had no idea about the difference in the road and what it would be like in Los Angeles, or there's no way to really know it till you experienced it, right?
No, but I quickly figured out that the Venn diagram between road comedy and show business was very little overlap.
Yes, and that's a thing that someone like Chaz Elsner, who would at the end of his act do a flip in the stage.
Yeah.
I thought those people, it wasn't like I thought they were going to win, but I thought that they thought they were going down a more reasonable path, give the people what they want kind of stuff.
Right.
But you could see very quickly that doesn't work, even though a lot of people do that every day, try and come up with the next.
Yeah.
shtick.
I mean, the thing for me was that it was just basically rammed down my throat that you're a good writer and we don't need you as a performer. That was just kind of, so it was enough, it was a negative feedback in one way, but enough positive about the writing side that I didn't feel like I had made a mistake by being here.
Right.
And my stated goal when I left Minneapolis was to be a writer, but, I still harbored stardom as a goal.
Right.
But that, that faded away pretty quickly.
Well,
I felt like, they paid me a lot of money to not be a comic. That's kind of how I felt.
Right. That's true.
It was, monetarily, it was immediately a much better path.
And that's the other thing too, is that, everything I think is relative to what you came up in and what the time period was. There's never going to be, there's not as much money in writing now, right?
No.
As there was with those crazy deals, not crazy deals, but independent.
Well, and also 22 episode seasons.
Yeah. Yes.
That doesn't exist anymore for the most part.
I was watching on Fox and I was like, they have a show coming out called Monarch.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think of Fox as a network anymore. I don't think of any of these as a network. And it looks like it's going to be awful. Maybe I'm wrong about it. It looks.
Well, just the whole concept of network fare kind of feels outdated now.
Yeah, because it already screams like the parameters of it. Regular people think of it as a hacky format, right? It does not have the same. It's just that I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is that had you grown up in a different time period, you would have been other things would have come up, and who knows what would have happened. But there's just no way to predict because how can you take yourself out of the circumstances of where you were,
Right.
You know, and why would you want to? I don't know why I'm arguing for a different outcomes. I think there's disappointment in everyone's life, and it seems like I know I had this theory that we're all the same age as me.
I found myself defending my career this weekend at one point because I was talking with my uncle, and he's the uncle who sends me bad emails and who's pretty maggotish, and literally is the only person I've ever said sincerely go. So I says to the guy, I says. He was like in this loop of saying things, so I think things are going to work out for you. Something's going to happen. You're going to hit it big. And I'm like, I'm 50, Ron. I'm not just starting out at this. And he's like, no, I think, if you keep doing things and something will catch on, you'll be on Kimmel or tonight, and I'm like, are you giving me a pep talk? I'm a 50-year-old man who's been in show business for 35 years. I'm not chasing the dream anymore. Stop it.
Well, I think the other thing is that people in general sometimes might take your realism and take it like they have to cheer you up or they have to cheer themselves up.
That might be it, I guess. I don't know.
You're just a realistic person.
I think you're giving him, in this case, I think you're giving him too much credit for perceiving or listening in any way.
Well, I know that the guy's, next minute he's going, Q. I'm speaking to the Q guy now.
Right.
Is he not a QAnon? He could be a QAnon guy, right?
Yeah, I don't think he is. So
what he sends you? What is the emails he sends you?
Mostly they're just bad, sometimes racist jokes. Oh, it's rarely political driven. But if it is, it's bashing on libs,
It's a gold mine for humor. Hey, what's next? What's next? You got your ACLU card?
Yeah, I don't, I would make him a character, but he'd love it too much.
I'm sure that he's
also like a sports radio call-in guy,
Does he have a nickname? Is he the Schmecker? The Schmecker's calling in today.
The Conch was his nickname growing up.
Was it like Conch Shell?
Yeah.
I want to meet him. This is who I want to meet. The Conch.
You do.
And are his takes pretty solid on the sports?
I think they're not.
Is he Minneapolis centric? One of those sports guys?
I think, yeah.
Right. But that's actually, you have enough schools there to follow everything. Schools, pro teams.
Yeah, I think it's the pro teams mostly.
Right.
But I've told you this, but I was driving home one night from a gig at Acme years ago. And I heard them come out. Okay, we got Ron from Golden Valley here. Ron, you're not allowed to call in anymore. I'm going to let you on this time. And then my uncle comes on the thing.
I don't remember this.
I'm shocked.
And then what did he say? Oh, you don't remember?
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I was too much in like, oh, Jesus.
I think we talked about this because there were a couple of times in the when I came out to L.A. that I called into these talk radio shows.
Yeah.
And that's the part of, like when you say, I want to look back without regret. That's the parts I have trouble. Like, why were you calling into a talk radio show? But my therapist says I need more compassion all around.
Yeah. I mean, certainly that's the level of things that really should just get shaved off the top.
Yeah. Well, it has been.
No one was hurt. No one was hurt.
No. This idea, I think what it is the idea that once you learn, like I'm learning that I have rage, you learn that you can be, whatever, you want to go back and correct these life things, but it's not only unrealistic, it really is like it's a part of, I think, kind of the disease I have, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
The condition of like, you never think you're good, whatever it is, you don't think you're good enough or whatever. That always, it's just a feeling that stays, but it's not related to I forgot what we were talking about.
My self-hatred is more in the flavor of you're good enough, but you're not living up to it.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. Jewishness, I guess.
Yeah, I think that is a Jewish thing.
I mean, if I disappoint myself, it's that. But, I also, I cut myself way more fucking slack than you. That's for sure.
Me in terms of how you look at yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Right. You don't look right. The idea of looking back in horror.
I see myself as a certainly flawed, multifaceted flaws.
Right.
But I don't default to you're a bad person.
No. Which means, I had a thing, Susan and I had this argument, and I realized afterwards that I act like when I get frustrated, I do still like an adolescent a little bit. So,
yeah,
that's where I got stuck.
I feel like your sort of fight or flight kicks in because any criticism is a criticism of your core. Right.
And I think that that's good to, it's hard on days like today when this, when you have this asshole Manchin. I mean, I do two things. I still have to turn stuff off because if you watch CNN, I don't watch CNN much, but they start right into the reporting the score. It's just so depressing.
Right.
I don't know where I was going with that, but just, yes. So I notice I have to stop. I can't watch at all because I do get, I don't want to have to, to be watching TV, yelling at the TV. And that's what happens to me, if I watch these people because they're good at drawing you in. That's what their whole job is.
Right.
Is to say, well, what happens to, they love that I'm going, well, it looks like the Democrats won't get their, what they were aiming for. And that's when I have to separate because I start to believe that, I am responsible. And also it doesn't help to listen to that kind of TV or anything.
Right.
So I have to disconnect sometimes, but it hit me hard, that Manchin thing. Like that he's such a scumbag.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem is that it comes down to that.
Yes.
I mean, don't forget the 50 Republicans who won't even fucking consider it,
Right. And then don't forget, here's my thing though.
And don't let Kristen Sinema off the hook.
I know. I'm more attracted to her than I am to Joe Manchin though.
Well, to each his own.
He's such a weasel. You should have heard, what did you say?
I said to each his own.
No, but you should have heard him today. It's like saying, they think I'm submissive.
Right.
I think he's crazy. I mean, that's not normal. That's like a guy who all of a sudden didn't think his state would ever be on the news or something.
Well, yeah, no, it's that Trumpian thing of I'd rather burn the place down than back down.
And I don't even want to get into it, but do you remember him screaming about the Republican tax breaks like this?
No.
He's just, anyway, but.
No, he's a dino from a Republican state.
Right. Yeah. And he's not, if he was a Republican, he would lose. Do you know what I mean? There's no Republican like him.
Right.
He's just like, I'm slightly scummy. Is that good enough?
Yeah, no, there's no place for Joe Manchin is really the lesson
right. Here. And I mean,
there is, but it's on the corporate board of a coal mining company.
Right. And the fact that this asshole would go on to Fox News, I mean, to me, if you go on Fox News, okay, I'm, you know where I stand. I'm anti-Fox News, Josh, and I want you to know
really
about my heart. Wow. Yes.
When did you flip?
Well, here's the thing. They say you decide. They said I used to we report, you decide. Thank you, I said to them in those days. I never watched since my hero O'Reilly left. No, I never was attracted by their charms, and I'm glad to tell you that.
Yeah.
How did you respond to the service of the Judaism of the service, or you go on automatic pilot?
Well, I was shocked at the muscle memory I had.
You remembered a lot.
I remembered a lot. I had to do an aliyah, which is where you go up and say the bracha before and after a Torah reading. And I remembered that completely. And,
give me a little bit. Give me a couple seconds of that.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch hamavarach le'olam va'ed.
That's close. Baruch Adonai mamar hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. I don't want to do the whole prayer. I think it's sacrilegious.
How about this, my friend?
I've already thrown out a couple of Adonais you're not supposed to.
How about Beret Peri Hagofen?
That would be the wine, yes.
Yeah, but I bet that's wrong too. It's the reason I never had the energy to get the words down exactly right. I was always so
well, and I can still read
horrified.
Hebrew, so
right. Yeah,
I can still read the Hebrew.
That's about the only thing I can. I can read Hebrew, and you can read it without the vowels. I'm sure too, right? There's no vowels.
The vowels help. No, the vowels help a lot.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was neither. I wasn't looking for anything from it really. So it was kind of like, oh, I still remember this because I did this a million times, and I remember lyrics like I remember English lyrics,
Yeah.
But, what touched me was seeing the sort of multi-generations of my family there to do it, and the fact that my parents weren't, their absence was acutely felt, and also, like, it's been so long I can't imagine them being there. So it's, so you had to sort of go. It's like I wasn't expecting them to walk through the door,
right?
But it was also sort of like, the first time where I've gone, oh, they should be here for this,
Yeah, because I think it would be natural to think that since we've gone through, well, we don't have the same life, but since you've gone through all the loss and stuff like that, that you would get to a point where that other kind of reminiscent stuff wouldn't be. But of course, you're going back to where you grew up. And I'm fascinated by that whole area because I think it's like the Coen brothers.
Well, it is like the Coen brothers.
Right. That's how I imagine it to be.
Yes.
But I don't think it was as charming. It wasn't as much fun as watching the Coen brothers movie.
No, probably not. There's a lot more, a lot of, judicious editing going on there.
And when you say judicious, right? Did you get what I said now?
No, that's not what I meant at all. No.
Okay, because I'm saying GAEW.
I don't get it.
Oh, so you're back home.
I'm back.
What am I, a DJ?
I am back home. I just got off the phone with my vascular surgeon before we got on.
Old Jew Medical Corner.
Okay, so what's happening? Give me the update. I know you don't want to talk too much about the operation, and why should you? But please, maybe you never said that you don't want to talk too much, or maybe it's just annoying the way I inquisition it. But what's the update?
The update is he just told me what he's going to do, which is basically cut into me, shove all my guts aside, and hand it over to the spinal surgeon.
Oh,
in a
okay.
nutshell.
Yes.
Going through the right side, so he won't get any of that nice kidney-free passage.
Oh, okay. What do you mean by the right side?
My right side.
You mean because there's no kidney there?
No, that's just the way. That's where they go in for this operation.
Man,
there is a kidney.
Wow, there is the kidney there.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem like it's going to be any sort of an obstacle. The kidney itself.
Yeah,
it sounds more. It's intestinal movage, I think.
Was the theory last time that he could do it from the back, or he just was hoping to be able to? Is it a safer operation? Back, or just the way he wanted to do it?
No, it's just a different operation. This one you have to do from the front. The other one you can do from the back.
Okay. And nobody has sent you any, they're not sending you any handwritten mail, right? You're not getting any of that from your current.
None of that. No.
Oh, Josh, I'm going to start praying for you, which will make you very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it really will.
But now are you going to be putting yourself on ice? You can't go anywhere? Don't do anything? You don't want to Omicron. You don't want to break through infection.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much. I mean, I have another doctor appointment today. I have some errands I have to run this week, but I'm not going to any social situations this week.
Yeah, that's good.
And Christmas will be just immediate family.
Right. Well, why do I feel like? Okay, there's a plane.
Like you're saying goodbye to me.
No, that was bad. It was. I had a weird thing in my glitch in my hitch in my get along there for a second that made me I'm looking. I'm looking for new Christmas movies, but I don't see any. Can't get into the Hallmark. 3 days before Christmas, a woman decides that she'll never find love, and then on Christmas Eve, Santa comes and he turns into a handsome guy. That's not. Those movies are not for me.
No, they're not.
They're for women, or something.
Or something.
Right, but where's my movies?
Well, Jen Kirkman's was just on, it looked like.
What was that?
She wrote a Hallmark movie.
Jesus Christ, Josh. If something serious happened in our neighborhood, how would it sound different?
I don't know, but I really wish you'd stop commenting about every fucking
I'm
thing.
sorry. I am
really do.
sorry. I am sorry. I'm sorry. She wrote, well, I should know this, right?
Yes.
How did you know this?
Well, she talked about it when she came on our show. The first time.
So she wrote a script for one?
Yes.
What's it called?
I don't recall. But apparently it was just airing last night because she was tweeting about it.
Oh, I can't believe it. What was the one? I like when they're pun titled too.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, I'm very impressed with Jen, with the way she. I mean, to me, she's like to me, she steps up to the plate. I could not write a movie like that. Maybe because of OCD.
Well, you just did. You pitched one earlier in the conversation.
What did I pitch?
The woman who doesn't have a date until 3 days.
No, that's
and
true.
Then Santa comes down the chimney and turns into a beautiful hunk.
Well, there are always these people. They're always like a white. I didn't know the answer was always a conventionally handsome white guy from the 70s. That's my argument.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I'll work on this bit later in my anti-Hallmark movies chunk.
Yeah, you just hate basic cable, is what it sounds like.
I really do. That's what it is. I keep thinking.
Thank God you got a Roku.
Thank God. Oh man, have I mentioned that I was able? Not only I think I mentioned that I installed it to you, but what I didn't mention was that I operated
the
well.
Headphones? Okay.
Oh. It is sad. It is sad, but I think like someone like Susan thinks I'm like charming or something.
Well, that's good. That's pretty much all you need.
It's charming eccentricity.
Right.
By the way, I'll have to tell you, I love our new tentative schedule.
Oh, that's good.
I love the early in the week feeling. I like when Wednesday goes and you're done.
Yeah, I'm not done, but yeah.
I know. That was rude. I apologize.
I was sitting in a hotel room editing this fucking thing on Friday.
And also, you know what doesn't help? Doesn't help with me saying, "What's that sound? Can you hear that sound?
Exactly.
What's
why
that
I asked
sound?"
you to fucking stop.
Oh, come on! I didn't. I don't think you can be accused me of adding more time to your editing process. At least I don't have an annoying I mean, I do annoying things, but I don't have something built in.
Yeah.
I did have a whistle when I went to the dentist.
Yeah, he took it out.
He said no. So I go, Dr. King, I go, shh, 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 shh. Dr. King, shh, shh.
He said, stop shushing me.
He said,
I'm a goddamn doctor.
He told me it's my fault that I have to articulate more. It's not the appliance.
I think he's right.
He happens to be right. But I wanted it to be defective appliance.
Yeah, but it's not like you're whistling in your speech. You whistle when you go,
show me how. Shh. I am in show business. Shh. Josh. Ooh, that's it. I could never whistle my entire life. Now I can.
There you go.
So there is an
all it took
example.
was removing your teeth.
I hate the thing. I bet you could do it too. I hate the thing where they pick their forefinger and their thumb and they put it inside their mouth, which is disgusting, and then they go like this. I don't know how to make the sound. I bet you can do it though.
I can't. It's like my one Achilles noise making heel has always been those sorts of whistles, cab whistles.
Do you get the concept behind it?
I get the concept behind it. I can't get the embouchure right.
Oh.
It has been a lifelong, and once in a while I'll pop one out, but I have not mastered. It's the only sort of fucked up mouth noise that I have not mastered in my life.
Week goes Donald Duck, check.
Sure.
Right?
Dripping water, sure.
Doip.
Crying baby, got it.
You can do. You've never showed me that you can do a crying baby.
I could, yes.
I don't believe that.
I only do it for money now.
No, come on. I don't believe it.
I don't care.
That's how tired you are of it. Come on, do the Mike the Mike Pillow guy, just for me, for old time's sake. Okay, I'll do the baby. You ready?
Right, okay.
I'm a baby. I don't like being a baby.
Okay.
Oh, I'm hot.
Okay, now do a baby.
Okay. I'm coughing. Bobby.
Still don't hear the difference.
You don't hear the difference?
No.
Are you sure? You're not just steaming my my mud pies, are you?
I am steaming your mud pies.
I'm completely over now the fact that we restarted, and now I'm in like a crazy high of it.
Wow, that's fantastic.
I know, but I can't. You know what the worst thing I'm able to do is to lead you back into a story about anything that happened to you in the past. I think I'm the worst person to do that so far of the two of us.
Well, you always come in at a weird angle.
You know, in general, I shouldn't back my comedy in. I don't see those signs all the time.
All right.
Do not back your comedy.
Well, and you have the old bits, so they don't have the camera for backing.
That's right. That's right. I don't have the camera.
The new bits all come with safety features.
Right. The new bit I'm not worried about. But I saw somebody. You know, they don't always have that sign. Don't back in. But I saw someone do it in a parking garage. He had to back in. It took him, I think, an extra hour to make that maneuver. That's what I think people don't like.
Yeah. That's true.
What happened? Did a pretty lady just walk by your window?
Well, no, you just told a traffic story.
You know what I hate? And I don't know if I told you this. You told me you don't like a lot of stuff.
You told the story about a guy who took a while to back out into his space.
He told me too.
And you wanted something from me from
He
that.
told me too. And I told you this a lot of times. You keep saying I don't like television. I do like television.
Really?
Yes. I have no problem with television.
Oh, I was misunderstanding you then.
Yes, you were, because it's the advertisements I don't enjoy.
Ow, it's not TV. Not TV. It's those commercials that get me. It's not TV. Not TV. It's those commercials that get me.
Oh!
That was a great voice. That's like a birdcage voice you're doing. Ow! Hey, Josh, say something to distract me from the fighter squadron coming in. Ow! All right, look, I am very disappointed, not in you, but in what you represent. No, in myself. I'm always disappointed in myself. But isn't that better?
I'd rather you're disappointed in yourself than me.
Yes.
Certainly. Yes.
Because people who are, the problem I have, which is thinking that everything's my fault.
Uh-huh.
I've told you this many times. M. Scott Peck, who I can't stand him anyways, who wrote The Road Less Traveled, he did say that people who think everything's their fault are easier to help sometimes psychologically than the people who go, it's everybody else's fault. So let's keep that in mind, that of the disturbed people I could be, I'm less obnoxiously disturbed than someone.
Right, but what if the other person has no desire to help you?
Right. That's what. That's you, right? No.
No, I don't mind helping you. I'm just saying that under the Peck thing, you're saying they're easier to help. That doesn't mean they're easier to stomach.
No, that's true. That's not. M. Scott Peck was a therapist of some time. I think he's still alive.
Yeah.
But I don't like tough love in general, as you know.
He's living the death not taken.
Death not taken. Folks, if those of you, and I don't know if everybody's going to get the Road Less Traveled references. They don't know from us. That's the old school, the Road Less Traveled.
Yes.
Oh, God, I'm so bored. Not bored with myself, not bored with this conversation, not bored with you, but I'm disgusted. Not disgusted at you, not disgusted at the conversation. self-disgusted. And you know what? People are sick and tired of it. They don't think that I'm any better human being, Josh, because I acknowledge that I suck. Okay, so he says it's the input, that input volume. So if I go down like that, that should be where we were before.
Okay, go down a little more.
A little more? Okay. How about now?
Now it's good.
More. Okay. Are you a little bit proud of me that I was able to figure it out?
Sure, if that's what you need, yes.
I don't think that's appropriate. I'm very proud of my different tonal comedy voices I do on the podcast.
That's good.
I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah.
You got me, you dog.
The man of 1,000 offense voices.
Let's dispense with the unpleasantries. Everything okay for the operation?
Everything's okay, except for they just called me this morning to say that my reporting time has changed.
To when?
From 7:30 a.m. to 4:15 a.m.
Oh, my God.
Let me say that again. 4:15 a.m.
So one more time, but really with less annoyance and more rage.
4:15 a.m.
Oh, my God. Why are you so upset about it? It's just a scheduling thing.
And scene.
But you know what? Worse would be 4 p.m.
I guess it would be, yeah.
Because that's where you get worried.
Hit the tea time.
Yeah. Does your doctor...
The British tea time, not the doctor's golfing tea time.
Oh, that's right. I totally meant like he had to get the operation over before he hit the course.
No, that's old school. Dr. Hack.
Yeah. And there's old school. I mean, are doctors? No, I guess they are, right? Surgeons are also known for hitting the links.
I don't know. I don't know what the current stereotype is.
But you know more than me because you played golf.
I feel like they probably hit the cryptocurrency these days.
That was a fake laugh. But why it was fake, I don't know.
Huh. We may never know.
That was a real one. Not much better. I had something to run over with you. My car.
Ha 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 ha. Hoo ha.
Hoo ha ha. Hoo ha ha. Hee. Okay. It must not have been that important. But I do want to get, before we start with the things, we do have some new business, right? I mean, come on.
I'm sure we do.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. How many home tests have you ordered? I'm ordering a lot of home tests.
I'm having a real test tomorrow, so I don't have any home tests.
Oh, okay. That's good. You mean like a PCR?
Yes.
You know, I was the president of the PCR Comedians Union. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
PCR?
Uh-huh.
What do you mean? Why do you go soft on that joke?
I think it was lack of recognition.
Ooh. I like the way you hung up on me the last Monday, and I feel like I deserved it, but I also feel like I was rocking. I just think there's going to be so little editing on that first day.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
Today we should be more judicious.
Right.
Don't you think? Since we have so much for the first day?
I think tangential is the buzzword for today.
Yes. We start a question. I go, hey, how about this? Oh, I talked about this with, did I talk about this with my therapist? No, I did. This is what I meant to tell you. I did Jen Kirkman's show. Oh, yeah? Yesterday. It was really a lot of fun.
Anxiety bites.
And I felt anxiety throughout. It was fun. But I did feel anxiety because they were trimming the trees outside the house.
Yeah.
And it was so loud. So guess what I was doing with Jen?
You were commenting on the loudness a lot.
And guess what she was doing?
Telling you to stop commenting on the loudness.
She said she couldn't hear it. Nobody can hear it. Then we had the city come out.
See, that's the thing about these mics. The SM58 is a very directional close-up mic.
It's amazing. It is amazing. And yet it was distracting me, but then I explained to her what I do. And that was a good little impression. What is this, a flight path now, Josh? I don't hear what you're talking about. I feel like I'm 2 blocks away from the same sound. And you're telling me, no, Andy, I've said to you 45 million times. I can't hear it. Your move, the worst chess player in the history of chess.
I'm not playing you're searching chess. For Eddie Fisher.
I always wanted to like Eddie Fisher because I like the other Fishers. Carrie.
Yeah.
And Eddie seemed like he was charming.
Just Carrie.
Well, the mom is not named Fisher, right? Is she? Who's the mama named? Carrie?
Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds. Right. I love their lives. I watched every one of their last specials. Punch Drunk Love. That's not what it was.
No.
And then there was when her mom died. And then her mom died and she died within 3 days. And that's how I want to go.
3 days after your imaginary child?
No, not
that sounds
my mom.
Very sad.
No, I think I want to go the same time, the same weekend that Susan goes. It doesn't have to be the same time, but I want to know that she cannot continue without me.
Oh, so you do want to go first?
Why is it? Because I'm a male and I'm older? No, well, she's older than me.
Yeah, I know. If you were a good husband, you'd want to be there for her and then die.
Well, I've told you many times. I've delivered bone mows or tips from true crime shows.
Yeah.
And so on the true crime show, oh God, I forgot what I was going to say. It was something about how they tip off. Oh, they continue to do the stupidest things. Like, not just do they take out insurance, but they do, and triple if it's an accident on the boat where it looks dicey 4 times. You get 7 times more. It's not like they do this once. These greedy murderers do it all the time.
It's true.
Yeah. I'm not talking about you.
It's like Lay's potato chips.
You can't have one?
Yeah.
I don't think that was what you meant to say at all. I'm insulted, but I'm not surprised. Have you ever said that to somebody when you had an argument with him? You know what? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised a scumbag like you would have done this to me.
And
have you ever said that to
and someone next to me would go, "Whoa, Josh, it's not worth it."
He's not worth it. Yeah, I used to love that. I never find that confusing statement. A statement like, "You're not worth it." What does that mean? If you hate me, why?
I don't know. I brought it up as a reference to our previous conversation about this. Be warned.
Look, all you can do is your best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't fill the aching, gaping holes in my mind.
Right.
But you at least this time said forewarned.
Right.
Forewarned. Was it something we talked about earlier today?
No, not today. To be fair.
To be fair. What's fair about me not remembering something from 2 days ago?
I don't know.
That's not fair.
I find it highly unfair. I find it a huge disadvantage for me.
Well, no, but it's like, you know what? That's why we've never
taking the callback club out of my bag.
We've never said it's an ongoing conversation. We've never said that.
No.
It's a conversation where it starts off.
It's the same conversation over and over for
it's the same
4
conversation
years.
You are married. You're saying you are married.
Yes.
Right. And it's your first wife or your second wife? Your first wife. Interesting.
Now you're doing Shelley Berman, which is
nice. Even Shelley Berman got tired of doing Shelley Berman many times.
I think
Very
so.
moody guy.
He was certainly tired of everyone else.
And Bob Newhart. Why would he swipe me? I don't know if he swiped this thing, but he could never let it go. It's hard to be mad at Bob Newhart because he's just funny.
Well, and also he didn't. I mean, he wasn't.
I know.
He wasn't out there doing it. He wasn't. I mean, it was Shelley Berman's album was a hit. The record company went to Chicago, found Bob Newhart, who hadn't done stand-up but had written material.
Right.
They said, go down, they said, you need to learn how to do stand-up and write another 15 minutes, and then in 2 weeks we'll record your album.
It's insane. The whole thing sounds insane, and it was a great album.
They had to send him down to Texas to do it because no one in Chicago would book an amateur comic.
And this was all just to copy Shelley Berman.
All of this can be heard in Rich Scheidner's History of Stand-Up Comedy.
Oh, does Rich Scheidner know stories that we don't know, or does he research stories that we all could know?
I know them all now.
You know them all now?
Yes, no, he is a. I hate to drop the scholar word, but yeah, no, he's coming from a full Chef Blowhardy position of knowledge.
But you see, that's what I want to see. I want to see him talk about comedy. I don't want to see Colin Quinn give me a right wing show.
Yeah,
I don't need that. Have you ever gotten? Oh, look, I think he's hilarious. But have you ever gotten over the fact that his politics are at the best odd? I mean, they're not coherent even.
Have I ever gotten over it?
Well, do you care about it? I guess is what I'm saying. No. Have you noticed it?
I have noticed it.
Yeah, but you don't want to get involved.
Yeah. I have no skin in the Colin Quinn game.
I love him. I've always loved him. But
well, then love him. Love him.
No, I don't love
him unconditionally. Then
no, I can't, because he'll say like I'll say to him like one year, I don't like what that Anthony Camilla was saying, those racist things. Oh, because he's not in the same team as you. That's what he would say to me.
Yeah,
not in the same team, and of course he's funnier than that.
Right.
Because he's kind of giving me the business. But
you can't get over it.
Well, I've never seen one of his shows. There's another thing, too.
Ah.
I can't get over how I have to be honest as opposed to dishonest, that I don't always find that the funnier people are, I am always surprised that they could be not assholes, but have weird political views.
Yeah.
Because I always associate a sense of humor with some kind of sophistication. But Roger Stone, nobody funnier than him.
Right.
And yet, don't you think Roger Stone thinks he's like a rebel kind of G. Gordon Liddy character or something?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he thinks.
And he thinks he's a dandy with those hats. Oh, look at me in my hat.
Yeah.
Are you also aware that he does a lot of swapping?
A lot of swapping?
Yes.
What sort of swapping?
He would just put ads in the paper when he go to swing clubs.
Ah.
Roger Stone with that big hawkish nose and a dandy hat. And he's liberal in that area.
Yeah.
Isn't that somewhat interesting?
No, not really.
Okay. Look, you have to be all I can do is give you the genius. I can give you the, not genius so much as, it's not genius, it's just trivia. It's trivia that's not important.
Right.
Unimportant trivia. But I did find out that Eddie Haskell's I'm not kidding this time, his name was Eddie Haskell.
Huh.
Did you know that?
Yeah. That was on his dog tags in Vietnam when they found him?
And absolutely. So here's what happened. They go out, they're in the Man Man. You served them in the Man Pan, right? The Man Pan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're going out on a sortie, and all of a sudden, I can't think. I wish I had more military stuff.
Yeah.
Or talent.
Yeah.
Or something funny to say.
You just emptied your jargon canteen.
I still love that scene in I don't know why I can't get the scene in Apocalypse now out of my mind where Martin Sheen is walking through the camera to get to someplace else, and Francis Ford Coppola's going, "Come on, keep it going, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving," and then Martin Sheen gives him that look like they're shooting a movie. Oh, it's so good. Or maybe I was high, or maybe I over exaggerate, or maybe I don't tell a good story.
Multiple choice.
I like Hearts of Darkness a lot. So maybe I have so much feelings about this whole, I guess in a lot of ways, that might be my favorite movie, even though it's a weird movie. But I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah, I haven't seen it recently either, but I've seen it a few times and I love it 50% more than Apocalypse Now.
Wait a second. Oh, I got what you're saying. Yes. Oh, I think you're right. But Apocalypse Now, you can never substitute the thing when you first went to the theater and it shocked the shit out of me.
Yeah. I never saw it in the theater as a kid because I was.
Let me finish. That's not where you should have seen it. It's much better to have seen it like you've seen things. Second generation.
I saw eventually. I saw the Redux.
Oh, which you.
In the theater.
And we've talked about that before, I think.
Yeah.
Like you said, it didn't really bring that much to it?
It slowed it down. I mean, it was like a testament to editing choices in the first movie.
Yeah, the fact that
the long lost French plantation scene should have remained long and lost.
Wait, you mean is that when the French were in Indochina?
Yes.
You mean they had to go flashback? Is 1947?
No, it wasn't a flashback. It was a huge scene where they sort of stumble upon this, holdout French colonial.
Oh, that does not seem realistic to me.
And it's like, it's right before they get to Kurtz. So, and that Kurt, it's like literally if they would have just like gone around one more bend of the river, they'd be at Kurtz. And you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ. It just stopped.
This was not in the original movie.
This was not.
In the original movie, you never saw it.
It was a scene sort of famously cut from the original movie and then put back in the Redux.
Okay, here, can I predict it? Excusez-moi. Excuse me. Quel dommage. Immediatement. I shall kill you, American. I'm a Frenchman. What are you doing here? I'm still here. The war's still on with us, and we invaded. Sir, that was, you should be in Algeria now. Ba-ba-ba-ba-dum-bum. Bing. Are you glad about that Algeria reference?
Yeah, it was great.
I know more things. Do you know that? What?
If this was the 1970s, I'd say, well, that sounds more like the Polish plantation scene.
Do you know that and this you never knew, that I toured as Algeria for just a couple of days.
Yeah. See, I thought you were touring as Al Jazeera. And, that's why I didn't buy tickets.
I would have paid Al Jarreau $1 million if he changed his name to Al Jazeera later on and say, I'm going the other way with it.
Anyone want to go dancing in the garden?
Until I got hurt. I was looking, I was the same as you until I got hurt. I don't do it. That's not earnest either. That's just like I'm vomiting the words.
Yeah, well, it was a committed cat, it was like an alley Cat Stevens.
Oh, why am I on today? And here's the thing.
I guess it's a good thing.
Well, not that you need to hear my complaint, because I'm not going to complain to you.
No.
Because you are the patient right now. You've got tough stuff coming up. But I'm
the patron right now?
No, patient.
Oh,
you're the
I thought
patient.
you said patron, like as if I need to be patronized.
No, you don't, Josh. Is that patronizing or just condescending?
I don't know what either of them mean.
Well, condescending, you know what it means. It means to talk down to you, but you wouldn't understand that because you didn't go to Binghamton like me. Hey, you never went to any college, right?
I did. I went to the University of Minnesota for a year.
And went straight from that to Mystery Science Theater.
Yes.
Couldn't you have that as credits?
Huh?
Credits.
What credits?
You know how they do that? You can take a course. I'm on TV this year.
Okay, then I'd be a freshman and a half. Fantastic.
You know what? When you got onto the Mystery Science Theater thing, the last thing that anybody could have convinced you to do was, well, you better go back to college and finish your education.
Yeah,
that had no relevance to you.
Yeah, my mother didn't see it that way.
Okay, and did she give you the Jewish explanation? Fall back on, you'll have something to fall back on.
No, they never pulled the fall back on thing. They just wanted me to have a degree. They were perfectly happy with me being a stand-up comic with a degree.
Did they let that go?
Eventually.
I'm sure.
My dad was like, even though he was an education hawk, he was proud of me for making my own path, I think. But my mom couldn't get past it. And even when I moved to LA, she just thought the idea of a writer without a degree was a craziness,
So your mom had a little bit of what my mom had, where my mom always was impressed by accreditation. Like if I said to her, if she found out that my current therapist wasn't a doctor, out in LA, anybody could be a therapist. So they're overly impressed by credentials, which means a writer would have to be you'd have to have a master's in fine art or something like that.
Right. Yeah. And I think my mom literally, towards the end of her life was like, you can tell me I told you so. I was like, I don't need to tell you I told you so.
Why would she say that to you?
Because she felt bad about, showing any disapproval towards me.
Oh, I thought she meant she was going to tell you so.
No, you
ended up like a complete failure.
She was giving me permission to say I told you so to her.
Right. And the other thing about it is that
that was really, just allegorically almost, that was our relationship. It literally goes back to when I was like 4 years old and playing with my friend and rode a bike up to our house and walked into the house and said, "Hey Mom, I can ride a bike." And she wouldn't believe me because it was so hard to get my brother to ride a bike. And I literally walked out and rode away on a bike. And she told that story for years.
Well, that's an amazing story, Josh.
But
how did you ride a bike on your own?
Because my friend had this little tiny bike that wasn't scary to ride without training.
Wow.
My friend Craig Smith, who we've spoken of. And
yes.
So that's sort of the kind of model for my relationship with my mother, is me being confident about something, her being fearful of something, and me pulling it off what I was confident about.
Yes. Yeah. Well, she knew that you're quick as a whip.
Yeah. And I never ever felt any discouragement for what I was pursuing. It was literally all about the piece of paper to her.
Right, and that was the same a similar thing with my mom, because she's I had a like a 3 back then it was different, but I had a high GPA. I had like a 3.8 GPA, which now you have over 4.0 GPAs. So I could have applied for some kind of a beta fighter schmeckle thing, and she brought that up for years that I didn't apply for it, and I couldn't get it without applying for it. And it seemed important to her. Not that important, because she's ultimately was narcissistic, but she would have liked me to say, my son, the Phi Beta Kappa.
Right.
The main part of that story was me telling you my GP average.
That was good.
3.8. Did you see how I snuck it in there?
Yeah, I'd be more impressed if I wasn't a fucking dropout.
Well, you'd be more impressed if it. I do have some resentment and envy of like assholes like BJ Novak, and I still haven't let it go. But the whole I went to Harvard and I'm smarter than you thing, and that goes back. But you know why it goes back? It goes back to my father.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to rage. And the rage, anytime I have rage, I know I have stuff to work on. So I know that I really kind of believe like those guys who went to Harvard. On one level, I believe, well, they are better. They're smarter, and they should have gotten jobs. Yeah. And then the other part of me goes, fuck them and their fucking collegiate bullshit.
Right.
I mean, that's not that articulate, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Here's the way your right sounds to me, like, right? Oh, right. Oh, he's going down. Right. Oh, you just hate people on sight. Right. Okay.
Well, yeah, the process I'm going through with that is like, do I describe my feelings, which once again are like, no, I'm fine, or do I listen to yours?
Oh, so, okay. I think it's an interesting thing, though.
Like, I'm kind of surprised that I've never felt any inadequacy about not having a degree, but I've never felt any inadequacy about not having a degree.
It's because it's really because you don't question your intelligence.
Right. So, and that was because my intelligence was so positively reinforced throughout my entire life growing up by both my parents and, the school, skipping a grade and putting me in the gifted program and stuff like that. That part of me was always puffed up,
Yes. Yeah. That makes sense then. But I was always like, oh God, those guys, they have a club. But like the people from Harvard who made it, who I think are funny, like I think Conan's hilarious. So to me, it's like, it's just BJ Novak, I guess it really, and not Lawrence Tribe, and Dershowitz. There are many unpleasant
Well, if you were a
people.
TV writer, you'd feel it too.
Yeah, because
there is a whole contingent of Harvard TV writers and, and other schools that have, now sort of long-standing TV writing programs.
And I remember when Tina Fey said she only wants to hire people from Harvard.
Oh, do you? I don't know.
Yeah. It was like, you're not supposed to flip over all the cards. She goes, I always want someone like Jimmy and then the rest of them from Harvard. Jimmy Fallon, then the rest of them from Harvard.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, and I like television. I'm a big fan.
Uh-huh.
I like the shows.
Uh-huh.
He is doing commercials now. They are literally the most sappy commercials I've ever seen in my life. It's like he's in a winter wonderland and he's just smiling, and I can't know what it's really for, but if you saw it, you'd be horrified.
Yeah, but the one thing he doesn't sell ever, it seems, is edge.
I know. So don't you think I think they're already tired of him, obviously. He's not, has the same cachet when he first had the show and you thought he was going to rule late night.
Yeah, I don't know if that's him or just the nature of media now.
Yeah, but I think Colbert consistently beats him in the ratings or something. But those ratings aren't even important. Who cares about any of them? None of them are really super impressive ratings.
those shows just don't have the relevance that they once did, period.
And I didn't see it coming either. I really thought I should have known that. I really didn't watch Colbert. I was a huge Colbert fan, but I didn't watch his show every night. You know, the character itself was more enjoyed in small doses. But for some reason, I thought when he was going to go over that he would be like the best person to take over for Letterman, and then he would bring depth to it. And I guess I didn't see that he's just not. I guess he's not that friendly, or he's not that.
Yeah, but
curious.
either was Letterman.
He was curious. He liked music, and he liked. You know what I mean? He had more of a engagement with his guests, even though he wasn't the king of the interviews.
Yeah, well, but he was willing to look ignorant on a topic, whereas Colbert isn't.
Right. So anyway,
Colbert has that sort of Costas syndrome where he has to show you how much he knows.
Oh God!
When trying to get information from someone else.
That's an unpleasant trait, and many times when you're listening to information and the person has that kind of. Like the Costas thing, I used to like. I liked that show when it first came on. When he did later,
yeah.
But then you could just see he liked to wind up. He was also, what's it when you lecture people all the time about what's right and wrong? It's like you're superior or
moralizing.
Yeah, he would always come on like he'd talk for like 20 minutes about Pete Rose as if he was Solomon.
Yeah.
Because I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what the hell he did.
All right.
I don't know if I believe that. And I'm sorry. Does that mean it's time for...
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show. Let's go backwards.
Oh my God, do you think we can handle it?
I don't know. Give it a shot.
Name can't be blank. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Name can't be blank wants to tell us, with the rise of vinyl, I'm thinking Chunks needs re-release. Not really. That'd be a terrible idea. But wouldn't it be kind of cool for that to exist? I'd buy one. Well, it doesn't encourage you by saying it was a terrible idea, really.
Right. No, he's right, though.
He's right.
He's right on all fronts. It would be cool to have one. I'd like to have one.
Yes.
But not to the point of, I wouldn't like to have 1,200 of them in my house. I wouldn't, so there's something that's slightly unsatisfying about the digital only release for sure.
That I understand, yeah.
But there's something even more unsatisfying about unsold physical product.
Yes. But, and then the other part of it is how happy I am to not be storing any diseased boxes that I have to sign and be with people.
Right. You have Cameo for that.
Well, but there's no touching of them.
By the way, I was just on I did a KFI radio the last 2 nights, filling in for Tim Conway Jr. with Mark Thompson. And,
oh, wow.
And on the air, I talked him out of Cameo. And I felt good about that.
You talked who out of it?
Mark Thompson.
I'm talking my friend Jack Tempchin. I think I'm talking him into it.
Yeah.
Because I think he'd be really good for it. He wrote Peaceful Easy Feeling, and he wrote songs for the Eagles, and
right.
I think that would be fun for him.
Okay.
I know you do know that, but you know what? I forgot that you do know technical things about all music, pretty much.
What do you mean?
Like J.D. Souther, you know all those people,
well,
right?
Yeah, we've also talked about Jack Temkin a bunch.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I haven't forgotten anything. His name is not Potemkin. I don't know why you said that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, we, very, very much so. We agree that, I've joked about that a lot, about our podcast only being available on vinyl.
Yeah.
When I used to play
and
clubs.
People laughed and laughed.
Back when there were clubs?
Yeah.
They loved it.
Tyson Sainer says there are 2 kinds of people, those who believe in dichotomies and those who don't know what they are. Hashtag false premise. Happy holidays. Thank you for a lifetime of entertainment. Let's make 2022 a better place to be. Hashtag lowest bar ever.
I agree. Tyson, that is a good letter. And, I'm sorry. I have to accept something if it comes to the door for Susan.
Okay.
Okay. However, I kind of right now don't exactly know. I know what dichotomies. I don't think I do know what they mean. It's a dichotomy. It's like a contradiction in terms.
Well, it's a thing with two distinct sides, which is the joke.
Oh, I thought the joke was that people don't. Those who believe in because there's two sides. How come I can't get the sophisticated levels of joke? I think I'm too anxiety ridden when I'm reading someone's joke.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. Well, excellent, I say. Excellent.
Yeah, it really landed.
It did land.
It hit 50% of the audience. That's good.
Are you making a tag on the joke?
Are you making a tag on it?
Do not do that. I told you do not do that.
Do that.
Oh God. That's it. You're getting a call from my fake lawyer after this.
All right.
Seize, not cease and desist, seize and desist. Steve Wright. Wait, did you answer all that you wanted to answer on that?
Everything's good.
Thank you. Am I doing a good job?
You're excellent.
Thank you. I miss Andrew
You're an asset
Cuomo.
to the team.
I miss Andrew Cuomo and Chris Cuomo.
Oh.
I miss them. Steve Wright wants to know and wants to say, I'm really excited to watch the Vonnegut doc today. Before my brain became a pinball machine, I could read and reread his stuff. Has there ever been listener-suggested homework? If not, there is now.
Homework. We should do homework. We watch a movie, then we give our take.
I'd love to hear both your thoughts. I would watch that Vonnegut doc, and I've never read any of Vonnegut.
Really?
I have. Is he the Slaughterhouse 5 guy?
He
and
is.
the Fahrenheit 493?
No, he's the first one, not the second one.
Who's the second one? James Elroy.
Ray Bradbury wrote Fahrenheit.
Steinbeck. You're right. It is Ray Steinbeck. I don't know, but you have read a lot of Vonnegut, I bet.
I have. I like him
I'm
a lot.
embarrassed a little bit. Ashamed.
Well, don't be ashamed.
He's great, right?
I like him a lot. I mean, he was definitely, for a time in my life, my fave.
And wasn't he kind of, aren't the books funny too?
Yeah, very.
Did he also do art? Or am I mixing him up with somebody else?
No, he did drawings.
Drawings,
within his books a lot.
Yeah. And,
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I will watch the Vonnegut doc. I'm not like eagerly going to chomp at it. I'm not a huge Robert Whitey fan. And I think
I do like him.
I think this movie has a lot to do with Robert and his relationship with Kurt. So that's sort of one of those documentary kind of. I don't always like it when the people make it about themselves.
Well, I have to say, the only thing I differ with you is that Robert Whitey's a documentary about Lenny Bruce is my favorite documentary about Lenny Bruce. And he didn't know Lenny Bruce, so maybe that was why he had he was able to.
No, and my memory of that is that it was a good doc, but like the Woody Allen thing had a lot to do with his access to Woody Allen. I felt like.
Yeah, I can see that. Of course, I retweeted everything he wrote during the
right.
during the what do you call it? The great, like the great
Woody
darkening.
divide.
Yeah, the great divide. On one side are people like me who go, I love that he dated, his adopted daughter. I love it.
Right. He's also the director of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is not a strike for him in my.
Yeah, but don't you think there's nothing he could do to make it better?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You can't tell if that
someone
guy,
should. Is my point.
Yeah, but you can't tell Larry anything.
No, I know. I think that's true.
Because my least favorite thing he does is when he does that shtick where he looks at the person real closely, like, okay. Then maybe you don't watch enough to see that.
I don't anymore.
Well, that's good. Who's is it time for me or you? It's you, I think.
All right. Comma Files says, does Andy have a favorite John Worster character from The Best Show?
I love everything he does. And I think Philly Boy Roy I like a lot because I just like the voice a lot. But the funniest thing, I've said this before about him, the funniest thing I ever heard him say was he was like talking about how people like Kevin Smith dress, and Adam Sandler, they dress adult toddler.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, he's extremely funny. And I I like anything that he does that's, he's always kind of like, they have a great relationship, him and Sharpling, so
Yeah.
it always makes me laugh.
Well, maybe we should take a page.
Why? We're doing good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, that's what I thought. Kerry Whedon is weighing in with, strange you talked about the Royal Tenenbaums last week, about 2 hours after I finished watching it again. Are you guys keeping tabs on your listeners? All the best to Josh and a speedy recovery. Happy holidays, and thanks for hanging in there. Thank you, Kerry. And we are not, I think we do have almost a spiritual connection.
Yeah.
But I like those coincidences, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, we don't have a formal tracking system.
No.
But I think we have a collective spiral unconscious.
Right. Ooh, I like the way you're talking.
Chris Z says, gents, is J. Elvis an Elvis fan? The spiral that brought me here, there is a deleted Pulp Fiction scene in which Mia tells Vincent that there are only two kinds of people, Elvis people and Beatles people. And we know Josh is a Beatles person, hence the irony.
All right, well, I just got lost here because, in other words...
It was too good to read. It was too good to read.
The read was good, but I have never thought that there's two kinds of people. I think Elvis does not... the Beatles do not override Elvis.
No, and the Beatles themselves are Elvis fans, so it's and it's a deleted Pulp Fiction scene. So, and I think that was a good choice, much like the French plantation scene. That was a good cut.
Excusez-moi, those Americans, you stupid Americans! I shoot you. It couldn't have been that bad.
No, it was actually dinner.
It was dinner, but I don't. They're hiding and they're going. We didn't know that the war ended when we were involved.
It's not quite like it's not like the Japanese soldier in the jungle in 1953, But it's
got a surreal thing to it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, I'll take that.
Surreal buzzkill is what I'm saying.
Well, now you read that, but that was directed to you, so I'd like to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen.
But yes, I am both an Elvis and a Beatles fan, and the Elvis in my name was from Elvis Costello, as you probably know.
Yes. I never can get with the I don't like Elvis thing. I just love him, but I can see that he was troubled. QMock says, hey guys, what does TS stand for? What could that, in time spot? Oh, I know. Hey guys, in Thought Spiral 236.
Test show, actually, is what it's.
Hey, don't you think it's pretty cool that it's the same initials as Thought Spiral?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Did you do it that way on purpose?
No.
Oh, I knew that. Hey guys, it's TS 236. Andy said the apple doesn't fall far from the tree when talking about the Cuomos. It made me wonder, with your own families, are you like them? Are they like you? How far away did your apple fall from their trees?
Would you like to go first, or should I?
I think you should go first.
I'm very much like my family. I see myself as very much a sort of split between my parents' personalities. I would say I'm probably 60% my dad, 30% my mom, and 10% wild card.
Well, I definitely.
But there's a lot of nature to my nurture.
What does that mean? Like the genetics were strong?
Yes.
Oh, well.
It's the central question of human development: nature versus nurture.
Right, but you're not saying nature is more important than nurture. You're just saying
I'm just saying,
put the nature into nurture.
Well, I mean, I had a big dose of nurture in my.
I know.
In my nature, so
I didn't.
I know. I know.
I had a lot of my father going, "How's it going, kid?" Life was okay. Yes, I'm very similar. And in fact, we share a lot of the same traits. Like we're all, even my mother, I don't think all families are funny families or use humor as a deflection, but my family did. Your family did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like, but I think there's got to be families where that isn't true, what we're saying.
I think it's absolutely true. There's some very unfunny families out there.
Right, but also families where they could have they would not be like their parents, or they wouldn't, something doesn't always follow the falling from the tree.
Yeah, and I think the more kids you have, the more apple rolling you have.
Yes. especially with the half sisters and the. I don't have any of those, but it sounded good there.
John Dunbar says, do you think Weird Al is currently in some studio recording a parody of Paul Simon's Kodachrome titled Omicron?
Omicron, it gives us a nice, bright spike proteins. It gives us the nausea. Go ahead, take it over.
No, I think you pretty much answered the question. No, he's not in the studio doing that.
But I have to say this, though. I was thinking the other day, and you could probably clear this up for me. I know that there was a thing about the song Kodachrome. I think he got sued by Kodak, right? But he ultimately won the case because we hear the song and it says Kodachrome. Or do you know nothing about this and I sound like a crazy man?
I don't know. I mean, it rings a bell that happened, but I don't know if it's true.
Okay, here's what I'm going to posit.
Yeah.
That there was a court case about it that has affected future naming of things. So that, in other words, you can't always say, I had an Oreo cookie and then say, I can't say that in a song. You can say that sometimes.
I don't know. That's actually interesting enough for me to look up at some point.
Very good. I'm very proud of you.
I like intellectual property questions. That's part of the 60% my dad.
Yes. And Bill Odenkirk, who's you know Bill, right?
Yeah.
His wife is like a lawyer and a person who represents, does a lot of representing of artists in terms of rights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great story?
Sure.
Okay, so is it me now with Mark McDonald? Mark McDonald says,
I think it's Captain Kangaroo, actually.
I don't have him.
Captain Kangaroo, you probably blocked him. Captain Kangaroo says, who's done more?
Is that possible?
It's possible.
Okay.
Who's done more unmitigated damage? Judge Judy or Oprah?
It's easy. Judge Judy. But Oprah has done damage, I think. I think she does damage when she did a lot of, she in fact had a show encouraging us to get into the first Gulf War. Not the first Gulf War, this second Gulf War.
Uh-huh.
So I think she's done damage, but there's no comparison. I happen to love Oprah.
But it's unmitigated damage is the thing that makes the question.
Judge Judy.
Yeah.
She's affiliated with, no, I think you're going to argue something that might be right. So go ahead.
No,
you take over.
I'd like to hear my argument before I make it.
Go ahead. And then let me know what it was. I want to hear it now.
I'm genuinely trying to consider this question because Oprah, she brought us Dr. Oz, she brought us Dr. Phil.
Exactly.
She apparently got us into the second Gulf War, but that damage has been mitigated by probably a great deal of good she's done for people.
Which isn't true about Judge Judy.
Judge Judy, I don't see that I think her damage is probably smaller in some ways because it was most of what you see Judge Judy is on her show. So she's pretty much just damaging the lives of the people in front of them who volunteered to be there.
Except she hangs out with that lady from, used to be on Fox News. I mean, she's kind of a right-wing fuckface.
Yeah, but you don't see a lot of Judge. You don't see a lot of Judge Judy quotes about politics.
No,
she's not Janine Pirro.
No, she's not. But I really hate her show, and my sister used to like her show, so we didn't argue about it much.
I've kind of only seen her show in doctor waiting rooms.
And doesn't it make you like it's annoying? Her show.
It is, yeah, sure.
Did you bring your okay now? Did you bring papers? Well, I don't. You were supposed to bring papers. You stupid. You lose. I mean, that's not judging. And I say that because I'm a little bit prejudiced, Josh, because I happen to be a kids court judge.
That's true.
As I listen now, do I do Mark McDonald?
Please.
As I listen to more of your show, I'm slowly coming to realize I'm a combination of the two of you. Who could have thought that you could hate everything about yourself and simultaneously hate everything about everyone else too? Have a great holiday, you guys. That is exactly on point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I necessarily embrace the characterization of me hating everything else.
I think it's me.
No, I think you're the one who hates everything about yourself.
Well, yes, I think there's a everything about everything. I don't think that's the way you are, though.
Thank you.
No, that's not you.
So Mark McDonald, you're pretty much just Andy.
Yes. And then you followed up with, I hope you aren't insulted by my identifying with you. I think Josh was, and I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not actually insulted.
Because I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad man pajama. But you could learn some version of that. Like you could take away the part of, I can't watch that documentary. That guy didn't do a good documentary.
I think it's very clear that I don't bring a normal level of enthusiasm to the table.
That's kind of your hook.
Yeah. But I also feel like I'm fair. I'm tough but fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Look how you fare.
I don't just default to disdain. I default to indifference.
Well, absolutely. I like all these words you're using, but look what you just did with Judge Judy a couple seconds ago.
All right.
Reasoned.
I mitigated her damage.
Exactly.
Mike Parrish says my roommate wants poisoned dart frogs as pets. They are fragile little guys, and I guarantee they will be dead within a week of living under our roof. Are there any strange or exotic critters that you had no business owning or dreamed of owning as a pet?
The only thing I had that I hated were the guinea pigs because they would just like shit on you all the time with little pellets, and then they would get stuck in the boiler. So I had I never had feelings about wanting to have a bird or those things, but that was the most exotic pet we had. And that's not exotic.
We had a couple of guinea pigs growing up. I really wanted a dog my whole life growing up. Couldn't have one.
Wow. It's unbelievable. Look what you've ended up as, not because of the upbringing, but thank God you were able to do it in your own life.
Yes.
I broke
free of the tyranny of my father.
Was it your father, not your mom?
It was my father, yeah.
He didn't want everything ruined in the house?
No, I think he was genuinely afraid of dogs, is what I think.
Oh, nobody wants cats, though, except me. He
would have been fine with a cat. None of us wanted cat.
So cute. I love the Weinsteins at home. So cute.
And I also had a monkey phase where I thought a monkey would be a good thing. I think it was probably around the same time as BJ the Bear.
Everybody thinks having a monkey, and I think I've said this a million times. When I was a host of the Pet Shop, Josh, I had a monkey guy come for the pilot that we did, and he had a monkey who lived in his shirt basically the first year of his life. Yeah. He says it's the cutest thing, but when they change, it could be a 2-day difference, and then they're ripping your face off.
Right.
They are not pets once they reach a certain age.
No, they are not. And I accepted it. I did not take the no on the monkey as strongly as I took the no on the dog, for sure.
I think Susan wanted a horse. I mean, I never would have had she didn't get it, right. But I never would have had the balls. So I don't think I would have asked for a horse.
Yeah, well, it would have been silly in Queens.
In Queens?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you because I think you've had so much joy as an adult with dogs.
Yeah, you needn't feel bad for me.
No, I won't. I feel bad with other things I do. See how I did that? Bing, bang, boom. And you're not coming out. You're not recovering from that.
No, I haven't come back yet.
I got you. Holiday Boogies. I like that. Holiday Boogies says, besides staying home and not making any money, how am I going to manage the Omicron variant living in New York City? You can't go out of the house. I just realized, Josh, and I think I don't know if you realize this too. I got very upset the last couple of days, and I realized, for me, we just have to go back to what Susan and I were doing before. Order our food in and not shop in places. Because I do think if you are in a place, and I think New York's going crazy, I think you will catch it, even if you're vaccinated. I don't want to catch it.
Yeah. I think you're basically right. I'll still go to the grocery store with a KN95 on.
Yes, especially, but at certain times too. I'm going to go there when the old people shop.
Yeah.
But I definitely know that because they're saying this one, if you talk to somebody and you look at them and they say Omnicron.
Right.
You get it. That was a funny add-on. And I added Omnicron as if it's my agent.
Uh-huh.
Omni-Trump. Is that the name of his? Omnipop. Sorry. Why don't you ask the next question and get me out of here?
No, I want to let you spin a little.
Oh, okay.
More, yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. Holiday Boogies was a good.
Julian Valentich says, no question, fellas, just wanted to drop a happy holidays. Happy holidays to you, Julian Valentich.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you. Who am I? Mo, I love that name. Mo Mark says, no question, enjoy your holiday, gents. May it be filled with delicious food and fun. Vaxxed and COVID-free loved ones. I'll be indulging my Christmas tradition of watching the Marx Brothers, etc. Not etc. Here's the thing. That's a wonderful thing to wish us. I wish I could. I cannot keep any of those traditions of watching movies I've seen before. I tried to watch the Grinch, the original Grinch, and I can't. I've watched them. I've watched Charlie Brown, and I think I feel that way about Marx Brothers movies.
Yeah. Well, you're a 65-year-old man watching cartoons. If it doesn't ring a bell anymore, that's okay.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't keep on. It starts to get painful. It gets actually painful. I can't be unloved that long. That was good.
M. Ledsome says, Merry Winterval, gents. Just wondering how you two gents met your better halves. Your wives, not each other, she says.
Well, I'll answer first. I met my wife, the wonderful Susan, at the Improv. The Improv used to be a place that people hung out in the bar area, not me because it was too frightening for me. And I met her one day on the way in to do a set, and we started bantering. And nevertheless, she still was interested in me. The rest is history.
You had more game then.
I did. First of all, I was younger.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem as pathetic.
Right. I mean, no, you're still, never mind.
Everything's fine with me.
Everything's fine.
Don't you?
I met Allison at NBC. She was Greg Kinnear's assistant, and I was interviewing for a job as a writer.
That to me is romantic.
And,
did you have an instant connection?
No. But we became friends over time, and she claims that a lot of her attraction to me was reading my stuff every day because it came across her desk.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's a romantic workplace. I'm going to sneeze, Josh. It's going to be loud that you'll. I'm over. I'm done.
Let me just say, Gesundheit, friend.
I think it's you, the next one, or is it me?
Go for it.
H.G. Ward, who I love, I just heard on Dom Herrera's podcast that Chris D'Elia is back doing sets and getting standing ovations. So maybe we should be welcoming Omicron. Anyway, love you both. Wish you both a great holiday season and wonderful 2022. Be well, guys. Thank you, H.D. Ward. I think that is going to... I don't know how these guys like D'Elia go back to doing sets and they never kind of address it, right? Or they say they didn't do it to begin with.
How do you mean?
Oh, because he was supposedly being inappropriate with women over the years.
No, I just don't understand your question. I understand I understand the background.
Join the club. The thing is, like to me, Louis C.K. one of his big things that hurts. You can't perform the rest of your life with this horrible elephant in the room that he has never addressed, except to put out the idea that he kind of asked to expose himself, or he puts out the idea next time you want to expose yourself, and they say yes, still it's no. So to me, when you never address it, I think it's hard to go back to where you were, especially when you were advertising yourself as an edgy, truth-telling comic.
Right.
And Chris D'Elia was never funny, I think, so I don't care.
Right. Well, I mean, I think, you're wrong in the sense that Louis C.K. has gone back to it. I agree that he can't go back to the esteem he had from, his community.
Right.
But apparently he can keep enough fans to make it float,
Yes, I meant more in the artistic sense of you don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Even though some people will. He's getting a lot of, I think, misogynist types.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly harsh punishment, but the punishment is suddenly that your fans are people who are amoral.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he has had a harsh punishment in the sense that what he did was super creepy, and he never owned up to it, and then he tried to own up to it. It's just like what he was doing was bound to rebound on him in a negative way. Just no way you can slice it.
Right.
Oh, I can't in America? I can't expose myself now? I have to. Exactly.
I mean, the difference with him, I think, and I've said this before, it's not at all an excuse for him, but I think the thing that with Louis C.K.'s special case is that he spent his career making you think that he's that creepy.
True.
So it was
But
only
not really,
so it was but close. So it was only like 5 degrees past the behavior you thought he was capable of.
Well, that's an interesting thing because that stopped me from liking him the first time.
No, and I think that's valid.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, actually, technically, he's doing very well in terms of money, but I don't know how he's doing. I think he's miserable, but he was always miserable, right? I think so. Yeah, as opposed to me. You're up, baby.
Chaotic Neutral says, "Hey guys, do you prefer working clubs that are run by comedy veterans? Not counting John Lovitz's place, are they generally better run than other venues? I ask because I heard Cosby might open up a club called What Else Is in the Booze."
That's a long setup for that joke.
It really is, yeah.
I also don't understand, Chaotic Neutral. Are you saying, like, not counting John Lovitz's place, like that was a good thing? Because I thought that was a horrible thing.
No, I think the opposite. I think they're saying we know John Lovitz's place sucked, but in general.
Well, I can't. How many clubs have you played that are run by comics? I can't even. You did in Minneapolis.
I've played several, and they aren't necessarily better in any way.
No.
In some ways, I think there's almost a lower regard for comics because they have to keep their ego supremacy over.
Yes.
Now you're another comic, but you work for me.
I think the way it could work it was like the Dangerfields, but that was a horrible club anyway. But the fact that he played that room, there was a little bit more of a he's running the club, but that was a terrible room, so I don't even think my point makes any sense.
Right.
I'm sorry. Jason, the ghost of Lateral Christmas Parton, says, have either of you not been able to drive 55? I'll stop now. No, I could not. I could not drive 55. And I did have that joke when I turned 55. And that only makes me feel like I'm really old. That's 10 years ago.
No? Stephen
You have to. Yeah, exactly. You have to ask Stephen Elton Yates this question.
Stephen Elton Yates says, "Hey guys, which is your favorite one of the kinks? Which is your favorite kink?" See, this is his new format. Mine are Ray Davies and spanking.
I don't know the difference between. I'm not as familiar with the difference between the two brothers. I love the music, but I'm not that familiar. And tickling.
I think Ray Davies is pretty much the superior Davies in terms of, getting the most out of the kinks.
Who's the other Davies' name?
Dave Davies.
I never even heard of him. He doesn't. He's a little bit in the background, but they both do the writing.
He was the guy punching Ray Davies.
Oh, were they like those kind of brothers?
Yes.
And like Oasis?
Yes.
Now, I heard an Oasis song. I had never heard one in my entire life, and they sounded like it was a good song. But is it because I just wanted them to sound like the Beatles, or what? Or do you know anything about them? Is my question.
I know more than you. They are brothers. They did sound like the Beatles, and I liked them.
That's cool.
Or I like their hits at least.
And then but the fact that they also beat up each other, that wasn't a draw for you or me.
No.
Yeah, I never have enjoyed that part of the. Mm. Oh, especially I saw a documentary that was kind of interesting. It was called Clockwork Orange County. It was about punk rock scene in Orange County. I thought it was interesting. I mean, it was not the greatest. It was just interesting.
Yeah, like what era scene?
Like when I moved out here in the late 70s when Black Flag happened, and I forgot the name of the place. It was called Cuckoo's Nest, and it was a club down in Huntington Beach, and it was like had all these groups that I don't really know, but TSOL.
I love that there was a club called Cuckoo's Nest, and yet they chose Clockwork Orange as the pun for their movie.
No. It's so stupid. It's a bad name for that movie. It really should have to do it. They should have gone the other way with it. They should have named it after the chief.
One moshed over the cuckoo's nest. Maybe.
I just never knew there was that great music ever in Orange County. I mean, I didn't like that music that much, but the Ramones played there, and
Yeah.
you like the Ramones, right?
I do like the Ramones.
Yeah, I just wish I knew more.
And did they talk about the lack of crossover or crossover between the Orange County and LA scenes?
Yes, because there obviously was. And Black Flag, I remember Black Flag the first time through because I moved down in 78. I lived in Hermosa Beach. That's where they were.
Yeah.
Black Flag. And I love their song, I'm going to have a TV party tonight. But that was all I ever knew of them. And I never liked, and I'm going to say this right now, that guy scares me, and I don't like that he scares me.
Who, Henry Rollins?
Yeah, because I think he actually is one of these guys who goes, yeah, I could fucking kick your ass. What are you going to do about it? I don't like that energy.
Yeah, I think he's friendlier than that, though. I think that's the sort of subtext of any interaction with you.
Like
but I don't think that's the energy he leads with.
No, but when he was talking about the old days, he was going, well, if you wanted to be like punk rock, you had to know how to fight. So that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, then you're barring me from a form of music.
Right.
Because I can't fight.
Yes.
And if that's going to, but I guess those guys, I guess what I'm missing is these guys I came from an upper, middle class Jewish family, and guys like Jagger and Keith Richards, they came from working class families.
Right.
So they came by their fighting and rebellion more honestly than me.
Right.
I just look stupid.
No.
Hey, Dan Marsh says, hey guys, if you could reboot a TV show, which do you pick? What stars do you want for the main roles? And what's changed from the original concept? What is this, homework now? What am I gonna? I don't reboot a TV show. I would reboot Room 222. I got nothing.
It's ahead of the class.
Yeah. You're gonna have to fill this one out.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think rebooting TV shows is almost never a good idea.
Yeah.
And I just shot some scenes for a rebooted TV show last week. So,
what was it?
The one I was on.
Oh! For some reason, I thought it was going to be Freaks and Geeks. I know you're on the other one.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no. I mean, I can't put this kind of mental energy into something I don't believe in.
Yes, and I admire you for that. I would reboot, but from my act, I do have this joke. I am bringing back Starsky and Hutch, and I'm changing it to Quinoa and Kale. About two cops who break all the rules except for their strict vegan diet. Huh? Not bad, right?
No, it's not bad. Baby. But
go ahead, ask Brian Ard's question and see if you can. See if this doesn't make you nervous. Me making you feel nervous about it.
Brian R. included a photograph taken from I would say maybe the third floor of an office building. Of a truck with on the side, it's a produce truck with the slogan "Always local, curiously fresh." So knowing that, here's the question: this truck passing by my office doesn't quite rise to the level of James Mason and the unusual flavor of Thunderbird, but isn't this an odd way to promote your brand? You thought this food would be gross, didn't you? Isn't it curious that it's not?
He has really put his finger on maybe the word. It's a terrible promotion. You expect local, fresh produce to be fresh.
Right.
Curiously good.
Right.
Okay, I think we covered it. And here, Pickles says, if you could swap one member of the Monkees and one member of the Partridge Family to make both TV shows better, which would you choose? This is about the TV product, not the music they produce. Okay, Pickles, calm down. I know you're used to being asked the first question. I'm going to go with a classic here, the pretty daughter.
Yeah. You'd throw her to the Monkees?
Into the Monkees, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Shirley Jones, I meant. She goes into the Monkees.
Oh, okay. And who goes to the Partridge Family from the Monkees?
Nobody.
No, it's a swap. It's a swap.
Oh, Mickey Dolenz, because Mickey Dolenz. Peter Tork, because I don't have a good answer for this. I'm going to you're the expert on this.
Well, you could go a couple ways. You could go You could go Davey for David Cassidy.
Well, that's right, David. I forgot he was in the group.
Yeah, so you have just the pure Teen Idol, Teen Beat kind of swap.
True.
Though I could see Danny Partridge replacing Peter as bass player. Just swap it out. And I know it's not a music. I know it's not a musical choice, but but I could see Danny Partridge, scheming to make the Monkees even bigger.
Right. Neither show would I say is the greatest show in the world, but the Monkees were way better than the Partridge Family, right?
Yeah, I did not have any.
I didn't watch any Partridge Family.
I watched it because it was on, like everything, but I never had any real pull to it.
Yeah, because the Monkees were people that we were like the Beatles, which we liked. Don't listen to my answers.
I understand. Do you want to hit a couple of letters real quick?
Sure, I'd love you to.
Kevin Harrison says, Dear Josh and Andy, like yourselves, I'm a big Beatles fan, and I can't wait to visit family over the holidays so I watch Get Back using their Disney Plus subscription. Despite being such a productive band, it's amazing the Beatles have very little junk, but they do have a little. What's your least favorite Beatles song?
It's kind of easy for me. I think Obladi Oblada might be my last.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't like When I'm 64.
Okay.
I don't love the Paul McCartney novelty songs.
The music hall, the sort of music hall songs.
Yeah, I don't like that so much, but I still love it. Everything.
I don't have a lot of patience for I Want You, really.
Oh yeah, that song is too long.
I Run for Your Life really still bothers me.
Terrible song.
I don't have that much patience for With and Without You, even.
Oh, no, I like that one because I love that whole George Harrison going to the Eastern Indian. You don't like the sitar, or you think it's just the whole thing leaves you cold?
It's a little too much of a drone for me.
Yeah, and
I don't hate it. I don't hate it like the other two I mentioned.
But any of the songs where they said, if I catch you, girl, it's going to be the end.
Right.
Those are bad. Is that Run for Your Life?
Run for Your Life, yeah.
Oh.
I'd rather see you dead, little girl, than to be with another man.
Now, people hate The Long and Winding Road, but I don't because I heard it the first time around and just bought into the whole symphonic thing.
Absolutely. Jesse Turpin says, hey, Josh and Andy, I have the rare opportunity to see a 24-hour-long stand-up set tonight and tomorrow. The comic is Graham Clark, who's interviewed Andy on Stop Podcasting Yourself. I ask you both, is this nuts? Have you ever seen a marathon set like this? How would you approach it? I was thinking the format could coax some real brilliance out of Andy in the last 10 hours or so, although it might kill him, and I want Andy to live forever. Thank you, Jesse Turpin.
Well, I'm friends with Graham Clark, and he's hilarious. I've never actually seen the thing he does, but if anybody could pull it off, it's him because he actually has read the phone. He does a whole bit about reading the phone book, and so he has a lot of those kind of built-in weird things he can do. So
right.
I still wouldn't want to do it, though, because I really would be afraid I would die. I'm sleepy. I can't be funny.
Yeah, I mean, is it a charity thing?
Charity, yes.
Okay. Because that's the only reason for it.
And he's not the only one other people have done it.
No, I've heard other people doing it before, and nothing about it draws out enough curiosity in me to go, I wish I could see that.
Right, but you enjoy his regular comedy in a small, shorter format.
I believe that. Stephen LaFave says, I need to run this by you guys, and you're the only two in the whole world I can talk to about this. I'm as Northern European Goyish as you can get. Tell me if this factoid strikes you the same way as it strikes me. Weird Al Yankovic is not Jewish? When I heard this, I realized I believed he was Jewish my whole life without ever consciously verbalizing this thought. Is that wrong of me?
Well, I never got a Jewish vibe from him.
Yeah. Jews.
It sounds like Polish or something. It's a Polish name?
It's Slavic.
Slavic.
It's probably Yugoslavian. And it's not Yankovic, it's Yankovic. Why
was I saying
well, no, I read it Yankovic because he spelled it Yankovic in this thing. And
that makes it more Jewish if it was Yankovic.
Yeah, it's Yankovic, which is a very Slavic suffix. And also polka is not Jewish. Polka is, Czech and Polish and, very, very Slavic too.
Yeah, his accordion Did he grow up playing the accordion?
He did.
Yeah.
No relation to Frankie Yankovic, the king of polka, but
I can't believe that. So, in other words, the Yankovic name is a name that's would be people who could play the polka. Stop me. Just stop me.
okay. Stop, Andy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Tommy Davern says, hello, gentlemen, and thank you for all the hours of much-needed comedic escapism and all that. My idea for a show is a rabbi and a clown who solve murders together, and it's called Lipshits and Giggles. Lipshits and Giggles.
That's a clever name, but I don't, because I'm so I never liked shits and giggles because it makes me think of people taking a shit. So I could
While
never.
giggling or giggling after?
Yeah, whatever. I just understand, like, let's just do this for giggles.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Right. But once you're shitting,
I just don't need it.
you can't yes and the shitting.
Yeah, exactly. But you could.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm shitting right now. Hey, if you'd like to support our show, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral. There is a new hitch in the Buy Me a Coffee system. They have parted ways. Some of you have seen this and been alerted and changed your subscriptions. They have parted ways with PayPal on buymeacoffee.com, which I know is the worst thing you can do with e-commerce is present friction. And here it is. Here's the friction we were so trying to avoid. Some of you have changed your memberships and subscriptions, and I really appreciate you taking that effort. I understand if you're done with it. I understand.
Right.
But if you want to get back on the whole Buy Me a Coffee train, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral, and you can do a one-time donation or member up with the new different system.
And also, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's okay.
Also, your documentary, right, is still available. All your documentaries.
Two
the last one.
documentaries, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see
Michael DeBar.
I Need You to Kill. You can see for free still on Amazon Prime, and Michael DeBar is available for streaming, renting, and DVD and Blu-ray. And my album Chunks is a delight, even if it's not on vinyl.
Well, I just wanted to say, buy my album. Why not? Right? It's still available.
Sure.
You can download it.
Hence the humor, right?
Hence the humor. Then you can buy also one of my
This is the worst
cameos.
Worst hang up ever happening.
No, I'm not hanging up. But the thing that I like about your documentaries, they have a beginning, a middle, and a ha 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 bing bang. Ha 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 bing bang. Ha 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 bing bang. Ha 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 bing bang. Ha 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 bing bang. Ha 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 bing bang. I think things are going very well for me.